Hello.
Mackenzie Porter. So glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Clap.
All the claps.
Oh my gosh. No, seriously, thanks so much for being here. We're super stoked to have you. I first found you. This is a true story. I first found you on YouTube.
Really?
I was searching on YouTube one day and I saw this thumbnail of this girl just like bawling her eyes out. And I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is going through something. And I clicked it and I was like, okay, seeing other people, this is a great song.
Thank you.
Did you do some acting?
So yes, I grew up acting. That's so funny that you comment on that video. That was like, we weren't supposed to film a video that day. We were doing other content, I think a photo shoot. And at the end of it, we were like talking for some reason, because I've done a lot of acting. My manager's like, yeah, she can like cry on cue.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, show them, like, you can cry on cue. And I was like, yeah, I can, or usually I can. And then we were like, we should just do one take of seeing other people where it starts out like you have it together and you slowly like
oh my gosh,
lose it on camera. And I was like, okay, that'd be fun. It was totally, we were just having fun. We shot one time and decided to like put it up online, and it kind of got a lot of views.
Dude, it's crazy. And it's all one shot, right?
It's all one shot, yeah.
Can you still cry on command today?
I can. It's probably like,
do you want to do it right now? No. Okay.
It's probably like not a great thing. Like my husband's like, are you really crying, or are you like fake crying right now?
Oh my gosh. So when did you got married recently?
We got married in 2019.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually today had to, so I'm pregnant. I had to take off my wedding rings because my fingers, like, I'm about to like go give birth and you can't wear your rings in the hospital. And I was like, I better get them off before they're like stuck on.
So you're like you're in the journey. You're far.
I got like 4 weeks left.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gosh, man. You're already so interesting. Jeez. Well, that's so cool. Well, like I said, we're super stoked that you're here. I'm curious, when you're not doing mom stuff, when you're not doing music stuff, what kind of passion projects are you into? What else are you into?
So I love anything to do with like decor, like house design.
Okay.
We have 3 houses in Nashville that I've kind of like designed.
Oh, nice.
And I'm not
husband?
Just me, really.
Just you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he'll help with like more like the fixer upper kind of stuff. Like he can, if I get a new like faucet, he'll put it in.
Got it.
But I love that kind of stuff. I am not professional by any means, but I just have a passion for it. Cooking, I love. Hanging out with my friends. I have a dog, so we like take her on hikes all the time.
What
like
kind of
anything
dog is it?
A multi-poo.
Okay.
A multi-poo-poo. It's just like,
it's
very
a double
embarrassing.
poo? A multi-poo-poo?
Yeah, so she's like more poo than Maltese, more poodle than Maltese. It's very uncool. Like when we first got her, my husband's like, I'm not saying it's a multi-poo-poo. Like that's not cool.
Oh
and now he does.
That is so awesome. Oh my gosh. So you're really into decorating right now?
I love decorating. That would just be like what I would do if I have like a couple days off. I'll like try to do a project around the house, like painting or redesigning one of our rooms.
Is it like Pinterest stuff you go on, or?
Oh,
you're
like,
a Pinterest girl.
I'm a Pinterest girl.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
you got all the pins and everything.
Oh yeah, and like even on my phone for everything, like recipes, like clothing looks, house design, like everything is Pinterest for me.
Oh my gosh. I just started, I just moved here in August, and it was pretty lonely the first month, and I just fell into decorating and all that. So I like made a Pinterest account. This is a true story, and I just we got it.
2 peas in a pod.
I just freaking pinned everything. I got all the Wayfair mirrors, and I don't even like plants, but now I have like 3 plants in my house, and I don't even know how they got there. They're there now.
I feel like when I first moved to Nashville, like same thing. It took a while to like find your people.
It's
like
tough.
It probably took me a year at least.
Yeah.
So I feel that like seclusion, I think a lot of people feel when they first come to any city, probably.
It's tough. When you moved here, was the music thing going, or where was that?
It was like, I mean, I was like hustling, trying to make it go.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, I was pushing it uphill.
Got you.
But I would just, like, I feel like I would meet people and definitely enjoy those relationships, but I hadn't found like my people yet.
Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah.
Especially, I see so many people, and I fell in this too. Like, you're chasing after something, and it's like, it can get real lonely sometimes. You know?
I mean, it still is. Like, I've been here now for 8 years, and I think this industry, like entertainment, can be a little bit lonely to most people because, like, for me, I spent all last year and the year before on the road the whole time. And like, of course you're surrounded by tons of people, but you're also like very lonely and doing solo things. And, you know, you have this like big moment on stage and then you check into your hotel and it's just you in, you know, some crappy hotel.
Yeah.
And it is like a weird mind game. Yeah.
It's crazy. I totally get that. Have a lot of musician friends kind of in the same boat, and it's tough. Well, I wanted to kind of let you know kind of how the show kind of works. Okay. So every week we meet and, you know, we tell ourselves like, once this show is over and we talk, like, what can we leave Mackenzie with this week, just so it doesn't feel like every other press interview that you're doing, because we know you're doing this all day. You just told me like you know you're doing
this already doesn't feel like that, by the way. I haven't done any in front of a fire yet.
We're trying. So yeah, we want to get to know you, and one of the ways that we want to just really like pour into you and just, you know, let you know that we actually do care about you and like we really like want to get to know you is we find kind of a verse for you for the week. And so I was reading earlier this week and I came across this one verse that I really thought was cool. It kind of spoke to obviously your career in music, and I wanted to read it to you because this is something we chose together. So this is Colossians 3 and it starts in verse 14. If you're listening right now, Colossians 3:14 through 17, and it reads this: "And above all these put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony, and let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you are called in one body, and thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and old spiritual songs, with thankfulness in your hearts to God. And whatever you do, in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God, to the Father through him."
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many musicians in this town, and I think that it's easy to get caught in wanting to do what you love, but also realizing that there's a bigger purpose to it, or at least, you know, hopefully there's something bigger than yourself going on. I'm interested how you've talked a little bit about your faith before. How has your faith and how you grew up or your personal beliefs, how has that affected or influenced your professional life in music?
I mean, in all ways, I think, but I think the biggest way that I will say it has is I've always tried to like be in this industry and both film industry and music industry, where there's a lot of like kind of like darkness around it. Like there just really is. And you know, whether that's like drinking or, you know, being unfaithful, like all those kind of things, like it is part of this industry. I'm sure it's part of every industry, but I've always wanted and chosen to like over a career gain, do what I think is the right thing to do, even if, it's not going to get me the career gain.
When I first saw Seeing Other People and when I heard it, I actually do listen to your music. I'm not even gonna lie.
Thank you.
I'm like, when I'd say like I want to talk to people that I actually like know, like I'm serious, like great sound.
Oh,
seriously.
Thank you so much.
But I like hear songs like Seeing Other People. I hear songs like Pick Up. Even Thinking About You a little bit. A lot of those come from a really personal, you know, story behind them. I'm curious with faith and the things that you just mentioned. You talked about a little bit how it's influenced your music career. What about just like personal life? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, again, I think every choice that you make in life, that's like the foundation of it for me. You know, whether it's like, you know, I've had to make hard choices where I've had to like choose family time over maybe like a tour date or choose like a best friend's wedding over like a really big paying gig. But those things to me are like so much more like important, and like that's who I want to be as a friend and a daughter and a wife and a mother.
Wow.
and an artist too. But those things, they have to come first for me, because I don't know. I actually saw it today. Obviously Toby Keith has just passed away.
Rest in peace.
And Jake Owen posted like a text message that Toby sent Jake, and it said something like, make sure you do your art really big, but also do like other things in your life just as big, or something along those lines. I'm like not quoting it exactly, but that like hit me today. That's like, that's what like life is, all these things, and we always put so much work and passion into like our craft, but you don't get to have a good craft, I don't think, if you don't have these other things that you're also putting a super strong effort into. And I think that same thing, it's like my foundation that I was raised on always like reminds me how important that stuff is.
That's so good. How do you balance that though?
I mean, it's tricky, obviously, with just like scheduling is hard. But I have like parents that like, they will put me in my place or like keep me grounded, and a husband that does. So like, I have people that if I ever, go off track, they are like, get back in your lane, girl. So I have a good like support system around me.
So important, especially in this town, man.
Oh my gosh.
How does what does success look like for you?
So many different things. I think success, I actually saw somebody say this the other day, that like, now that I'm becoming a mom, like stuck with me more. But he was like a multi-billionaire, like one of the richest men in the world.
Gosh.
And somebody asked him like what success is, and he's like, success is when your adult children want to like hang with you and hang out with you.
Wow.
He's like, that's the only thing that success is. And that is like shifted my brain a little bit, where I'm like, one day, that is when I'm dying or my deathbed, like that is what my biggest success will be in life. Also, of course, like success is getting to play really amazing venues and having people show up and like care about the words you wrote down on a piece of paper or on a guitar. But doing all of that and then being able to like sleep at night because you did it the right way and were, honest and kind about it.
That's so good. Talk to me more about motherhood. What are you excited for? Talk to me about that.
Oh my gosh, so much. I'm excited, and I'm also nervous. I'm really excited to like eat cereal and watch cartoons again. Like,
Dude,
I feel like you get to like do that kind of stuff again.
Yeah.
And not feel like, guilty or like I shouldn't be doing this as an adult.
Dude, yes, I miss all that stuff. Were you a Nickelodeon girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Like Hey Arnold. Was that Nickelodeon?
Hey Arnold. I've never heard of Hey Arnold.
You haven't heard of Hey Arnold?
No.
Hey Arnold. Moving football head.
Is that a thing?
Have you guys heard
Is that a real thing?
Or like Pepper Ann. Have you heard of
What is this?
Oh,
how about Drake and Josh?
Okay, I grew up in Canada, so maybe different.
You're from Canada?
Yes.
I didn't know that. That was one on the
But
talking
like
points.
Doug, Recess, was that on Nickelodeon? Yes.
Oh, Doug and Recess.
Okay, maybe you didn't grow up.
Maybe I didn't grow up in the right. I was Drake and Josh. I was Ned's Declassified.
I don't know these.
We're in two
Are we different?
rooms.
I might be older than you. I'm not sure. But I loved those cartoons.
Okay.
And then I got into like the Lizzie McGuire's and
Okay,
like
we're
That's
on the
So Raven.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're on the same
We're
lane
back.
right there.
We're
We're back. Gosh, if there was one, you talk a lot about like wanting the best for your daughter, which is amazing. Obviously, I can see like so much of your big heart already. If there's like one thing that you want her to see in you or want her to learn from you, what would that be? Nobody's asked you that before.
Pardon me?
Nobody's asked you that before.
No, they haven't. So I think, I want to teach her so many things. I think I was really taught about like work ethic and like the hustle of just like getting up and showing up every single day. So I definitely want to teach her that. I want to, and through like, cause I'm going to keep working while she grows up and touring and all that kind of stuff. So I think she'll see that. I want to teach her how to like treat people and, be a person in school that like, if she sees somebody not being treated right, that she'll like go and say something.
Yeah.
There's so many things. I have to like think about all that stuff. I've already thought about like how I want to teach her to love herself and feel good about like the way she looks. And, I have to talk highly of myself, because a lot of people are gonna say she looks like me, and you know that if you're like constantly bashing yourself, I think she would like in her brain be like, well, I look like my mom, and my mom says she needs to lose weight or whatever. Just like all those little things I've been thinking about lately. It's so weird. It's such like another level of thinking when you have to like prepare for a kid.
It creates a whole new life you're about to experience.
And I still feel like I need my mom. Like I literally was going to meet my daughter's pediatrician, and I called my mom and it was like, what do I ask, Mom? Like, what do I ask for my daughter? Like, I didn't know. So it's like, I'm still growing up at the same time I'll be like raising her.
That's such a beautiful thing though, you know, just like having your mom there and raising your daughter and stuff like that. I think that's so cool. Will she be a singer?
I would imagine she's going to be able to sing. My husband has an like amazing voice.
Okay, runs in the family.
Yeah. I mean, if she can't, that's totally fine. But I would think that she would have a love for music too.
That's awesome. We're excited. We can't say the name, can we?
I don't know the name.
We don't know the name.
This is a stressful thing.
Okay.
Like, so Jake, my husband, he is flying from Amsterdam like right now. And I told him on the way, I was like, we gotta lock down a name. Like, I'm stressed.
Are there potential names on the list?
There are. And they're kind of like
private.
We made the mistake at first of like telling some family, and there was a lot of opinions and like, well, that name rhymes with this, and I know somebody who I don't like who's also got that name. So I'm like, okay, we're just gonna keep the name secret.
Oh man, I'm excited for you. I want to dive into this verse real quick, just because I've loved everything you said, and you mentioned a lot about wanting to teach your daughter one day, just like to be a good person and stuff like that. And one thing that I love about this verse is that verse 3:16, let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and all spiritual songs with thankfulness in your hearts to God. I think sometimes we forget that singing is literally like a form of teaching people. Like you know this because obviously you're killing it in the music industry. Every song has a story, and what you say in that song is what really inspires people. So I'm curious, where does the inspiration come for you, and how do you go into a write? Do you even consider stuff like that, or what does that look like for you?
Like I always try to go into write from like a personal experience of like either mine or my sister's gone through, or our best friend's gone through, to try to like tell that story, because I do feel like if they've gone through it and I've gone through it, then probably a lot of people have gone through it. And I think like teaching people through music, like, I mean, my music is not like by any means like profound in like a teachable way, but I would say that maybe it teaches other people that they're not alone, because if somebody who maybe looks like on the outside that their life is a little bit together, but like really this is how I'm feeling, if you really knew what I'm not posting on Instagram or whatever, I think it would teach people that like they're not so alone, and there's somebody else who has experienced it, has gone through it, is going through it at the same time as them. And I think that's like what I bring with my music.
That's so good. What was there ever a song that you wrote or even have sung where it's like that one really felt like me, or is there a song in the vault where you're like, this is me and this is personal for me? So many. So I have a couple on my new record that feels really personal. So one is called Nightingale, and the whole idea of that song, it's not out yet, but it's coming out April 26th. Hey, April 26th.
But the idea of it is, when I like first moved to Nashville and when I first started in entertainment, I was so blissfully naive in the best sense, I think, now looking back. Like, I had no fear. I would walk up to anybody and be like, we should work together. Like, I'm awesome. And you should cut my record, or we should whatever, because I just did not know how this industry was, and I hadn't heard all the no's yet. And now being here 8 years, like, I definitely have lost a little bit of that confidence, because I know that I'm probably going to hear no, because I have a million times, or I don't want to embarrass myself, or I know that's not how this town works, or all these different reasons for like I don't know, kind of like stopping yourself a little bit from like going for something, like just fear, I guess.
Yeah.
And that whole song is about that. About like, I wished I could be that girl with that voice again, even though, you know, she didn't have the same success or money or anything that I have now, but she was like so much more confident, which is such a weird thing. So that song to me, I'm really excited for people to hear. And I think anybody can relate to that, whether they're not in entertainment or whatever, but just like you lose that innocent naiveness that is also a gift.
Yeah. Isn't it funny sometimes? I found this to be true ever since I've moved here. Like you go into like Live Oak or something, or you go into these spots and it's like, yeah, we should write together. And then immediately like people are like looking at your Instagram to see if you're even worth the time.
Oh, 100%.
Isn't that crazy nowadays?
How many followers do you have? Like, I'll have people, instead of asking for my number, just ask for my Instagram.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. But it's, you know, obviously social media is such a big part of entertainment, and it's a really important part. But it's also kind of like a dark part too.
So dark. Oh man. Was there ever a moment for you where you were like, was there ever a moment where you asked yourself, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be
always
this music artist anymore. I don't want, you know, was there ever that moment?
I think a lot, honestly. Not because I don't love it, because I love it if it didn't have all of the stress and the like pressure around it. If I could like just do the music part without all the other parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I'll have those conversations or like pray about it, where I'll be like, am I on the right path? Like just something, give me something that I'm like still supposed to be doing this, because it's hard. And there's so many times where I'm like putting in such an effort that maybe it doesn't feel like it goes anywhere, or it's like reciprocated, or a song that I like really believe in that just like doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but there's like something in me that will just not stop. Like my mom, I had a bad day the other day. My parents were in town, and my mom's like, have your day, have your bad day, but we both know you're going to get up tomorrow and be like fired up even more because somebody said something that hurt my feelings or turned me down or whatever. And now that's like put ammunition on it kind of, or put like gasoline on it. Yeah. But yes, all the time, I think most artists and musicians feel that way. Yeah.
Talk to me about Mama Porter.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
My parents are so awesome. Like I am so lucky that they're just, I grew up on a cattle and bison ranch. Like they have nothing to do with entertainment or, you know, spotlight or fame or anything like that. Like they are so normal. But they're my best friends. Like I really hope that I have that relationship with my kids. But yeah, they're just like supportive and I think protective, obviously, of me, but they more than anybody believe that I'm like doing on the right path.
How did that relationship growing up kind of influence your faith today?
I think just having like such a strong foundation makes you like believe in love and believe in a lot of things. Yeah. You know, they've had a really like tight relationship. My mom's side grew up like very religious. My dad's side was religious, but like didn't like speak about it as much. But I think they've just like installed really good morals in all of me and my siblings. That's
so good. I love that you said that, because I feel like there's so many artists nowadays. It's like I found this to be true with myself too. It's like I come from a songwriting kind of background, and you write these songs and it's like you get in the studio and it's like, okay, how can we make a hit today? Like, let's do the song math. Let's, you know, we'll start with the intro if we need to get them in the first 3 seconds. You know, let's do it with this type of sound and make it sound different. And you forget that, like, let's just make a song to make a song. Like, let's just make it as personal as possible, and let's just say what we want to say instead of trying to guide this sort of story that we think is gonna hit the charts and stuff like that. How do you approach that stuff?
Well, you're totally right. I mean, that's like the Nashville scene. You know, it's so, the amount of times that like I've said or heard people be like, but would radio play that? But like, would that get on Hot Country? Or, you know, like that's such a goalpost, and it has to be. Like, those are such important things that have helped me so much in my career. But I do think like the stuff that I've had the most success with, song wise, has been songs that we tried not to think about that. You just tried to like come up with a feeling and like, let's just write this song and not think about the money behind it or whatever. But I struggle with that too. I mean, obviously that's the goal for a lot of people, and a lot of people want to write with you because they think that's the goal too. And it is a goal. But I think the best songs are the ones that like aren't written with that in mind. You
can only do so much, you know, like the song's going to do what it's going to do afterwards.
And you can't like force an audience to connect with a song.
No.
Like, it has to come from your heart, and then hopefully they connect with it, and then hopefully it gets played on radio or on these playlists or whatever.
I think that's why people connect with you so much, especially like, I keep going back to the video on YouTube, but like even from a dude, like I was like, wow, this girl is like just putting her heart on the line. And I love that about you, you know?
Thank you.
So I'm excited for this new album, and I know that there's going to be a lot of cool songs on that. I wanted to finish with that last part of this verse because I think it's so cool when it says, and whatever you do, in word and deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. I look at like verses like this and how it relates to like the gospel and like a bigger picture. And you've talked so much about your faith and kind of how that has played such a big role in your music. And I look at verses like this and how it relates to just like bigger picture stuff, like you were saying. And the truth of it all is like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like love drives everything. Like, we don't deserve anything, but somehow we have everything that we need. And I think a lot of that when it comes to songwriting, it's like you just write the song, let it do what it is. And I think that's the beautiful thing about the gospel too, is like, you know, we didn't deserve a thing, but you know, the Lord provided for us and he sent his son, and it was such a beautiful moment that like we can't compare to anything. And I think that has to do with grace. And I see so much of that in your music and just this conversation in your heart. So we're cheering you on.
Thank you.
One thing I did want to end with is, if there was any advice that you could give, actually, I'm going to rephrase this because the original question was, if there was any advice that you could give to little Mackenzie, what would you say? But I'm going to change it to, if there was any advice that you could give to your little girl, what would you say?
I would say, I think, to like find what you love in life and like go for it without like with your blinders on, like just so focused on it, but do it respecting other people, treating people like kindly, because or like doing it the right way. I don't know, that's not doing it the good way. Because I do think at the end of the day that like the best people win, and the people that lead with love and lead with grace and like kindness, those are the people that they might not get ahead faster, but they're the ones that stay ahead.
That's huge.
And the ones that are the happiest.
That's huge. Where can people find you?
You can find me online, MackenziePorter.com, or my socials are on Mackenzie P Music.
Love it. Mackenzie Porter, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank
you. It was so nice.
That's it.
Thanks, guys.
Killed
that was
it.
so nice.
Killed it.
I love it.